So the first thing we're going to do is look at some reverse de la Riva entries into the legs. Okay, so let's go over a pretty basic reverse de la Riva entry into the legs. I'm sure a lot of you guys will have seen this before, but for the newer guys, you may not have. And it's a good one to start with. Okay, so we're in the reverse de la Riva position like so. Now, let's talk about what we do with this foot. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. Like kind of the standard traditional thing is to do this, right? Because now when Max starts into me, I can push him away. The reason why I don't like to do this is because there's an Estiva lock counter. I mean, the reality is most people are not going to be good at that, but when you go against somebody who is, this is like, you're essentially giving them the Estiva lock, so I really don't like this. You're playing with fire here. So what I like to do is one of two things. Either here, this is like super conservative, but the problem with it is it's like, it's not really good for regulating distance, or you can go here, right? I prefer this. Like, I like this one better. You'll go here, and just hold at their knee, and then when you go to do stuff, you're gonna go here. You go here, and switch to this. This is terrible for regulating distance. It's not this, it's this. So you're not regulating distance at all, but this is gonna be right before you invert and start, like, entering, right? Here, this is really good for regulating distance. So Max goes to drive in, and it's hard because I'm pushing at his knee, okay? So now what we're gonna do is I switch to this, I take my right hand, I go under like this, I fully invert, and I grab the other leg. Okay, now we're going to switch to a reverse X. And notice how I'm pulling at the knee. That's really crucial to this. And we enter into a cross achi from the bottom. So again, I'm here. I start here. I invert. I grab this knee. If I don't grab this knee, it's honestly pretty difficult to do this. Because all Max has to do is, he could do that, correct? There's a lot of other things Max could do. He could do that. He could also just put the knee out that way. No, put the knee. Yeah. Don't even grab my chin, just put the knee. Even that, like, that's enough to stop it. But if I'm grabbing the knee, he can't turn it out. Now I can pull, elevate, and lock up my cross achi. So again, I'm here. I elevate, and I lock up my bottom cross achi. From here, it's pretty easy to put them down because at this point you're controlling both legs. So you're just gonna put them down and start working from here, okay? All right, so for the advanced guys, I'm sure you guys have all seen this, but this is a good way to start looking at attacking from reverse de la Riva, all right? Let's get started, 1, 2, 3.
It's time to go.
You know what I mean? I'm connected to it. So do that. Yeah, you can get simple by in your head. Yes. So then it comes up. Here. This is regular section. This is reverse section. Okay. And then which leg kicks through? So this leg doesn't hit you off, but if you also want to get like a grip on the knee, so it out, and that makes it easier to shoot the cross. That's a fine attack. Before we're doing, go to a reverse. So when you go through, you're going to okay, you know what it is? Oh, like yeah. So that's a reverse X. Yeah. Because it's not yeah. So grab behind the knee. There you go. So in the center. Like just put your shit and then directly you want your no worries. This leg over this leg, extend this leg and pull on the knee. Extend only this one. There's two big categories of entering into the legs from reverse de la Riva, and then there's sort of like a third smaller one, which is more niche. But like, probably the big main one is inversions. So from here, this time what we're going to do is, last time we inverted into this position here, and we went into a reverse X, like so, okay? This time what we're going to do is I'm not going to go to the reverse X, I'm going to keep my right leg here, okay? Now what I do is I take, it still revolves around my left hand at his knee, Now my left leg, okay, instead of going in. There is a reason to do it. Trying to get him forward, not here. So right, that's what we're going to talk about that later.
That's what he and I were actually texting about, like why he was with me.
No. He said like size. Yeah.
Size.
Yeah, that was better. Okay, so
yeah, so I have to get it.
Why would you text me?
Now that right.
If I'm going to take this push, or rather, I just yes, you can't step back. This is not as strong as that. But the reality is, like,
This is what I want.
it's already hard because now if I have this here, I can go right away.
Yeah. So that's backside flexibility.
The disadvantage is, like,
Yeah.
this is
That's what we're trying to get.
if I want to hold on to you, like, go to pull away. Yeah, this is definitely way better than this. I end up knee bar all the way down. And then you can pass off to the heel. But for now, you don't really need that. So, yeah, but we are going to look at that later. I just want to drop this.
So you can see it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then you pass it all the way. And then look at my left hand, see what's going on.
Wrap around the ankle.
Yeah, because now I can chop. Especially with that, you can back. Because otherwise it's here, and this is bad. So I'm going to take it.
So what you want is for me to turn.
Thank you.
And take this.
Let's just talk a little bit about the entry, because I see a lot of people having trouble with it. So like, what's happening with a lot of people is they're going here, and then they're kind of like, they're sort of just bridging into the side of his knee here. Because what you got to do is you got to keep turning your hips. Okay, I got to keep turning my hips so that can happen. Like, if your foot's not as far as our hip, you're not really doing the move right. Like, if my hips are just high and I'm just bridging into the side of Max's knee, that's not really the entry. Like, it's definitely a flexibility thing, I'm not gonna lie, guys, but it's not all flexibility. Like, I know guys that are not flexible who do this. Like, you gotta just turn all the way. See how like I'm really like side on to Max right now? Now, if you're like really flexible, you could definitely get away with like I'm pretty flexible, right? Like, I can get away with just doing it like this, and I might have shown it like that, so it's not really what I should have done. The ideal way to do it is like this. Now, this does not require flexibility. I'm sure like most of you guys will be able to do it like this. And like worst case scenario, if you really feel like you absolutely can't do this, just go back to the first one. You know what I mean? Like, that might be what you have to do. But regardless, I think a lot of you guys will be able to do this one. Let's just make a small adjustment. Guys, let's just be clear about where we're trying to end up. We're trying to end up basically here, right? Do you guys know what this? Do you guys all know this position? Okay, if you don't, this is called backside 50-50. Okay, so backside 50-50. Max. So this is a variation of backside 50-50. See how my right leg is over the top of the secondary leg here? So this position has a name. It's the dumbest name ever. It's called double 50. I didn't make up the name, guys. I'm really hoping someone else comes up with a better name soon. I think it's the stupidest name. Isn't double 50 100? It's so stupid to me. But this is what people are calling it right now. Whatever. So I just think of it as like a backside 50-50 version. You know what I mean? So you got, this is a regular backside 50-50. Okay? This is like another version of backside 50-50. In my opinion, this is actually not an ideal backside 50-50. There's a problem with having this leg here. We're going to talk about that in a little bit before you guys get the hang of it. But for now, it's good because there's an advantage, but also a disadvantage. Okay, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to bog you guys down with too much detail right now. I want to make sure we're all doing the entry correct. But we will turn to the advantages of it next. So again, guys, look at my hips. So look. You can do it here. If you're really flexible, like Max and I are both pretty flexible, it's definitely possible to do it here. But if you find that like what's happening is you're not getting the foot to the front of this hip, okay? Remember guys, it's gotta be the front of the far hip. Just turn, see how I turned all the way? Okay, I also see a lot of guys ending up here in a bottom 50-50. I mean, this is not wrong, you know what I mean? Like, this is another good position to operate from. We're just trying to end up we're trying to end up here. Okay, this would be, if you had a choice, this would be the position you want to end up in. You know what I mean? Like, this is pretty much a dead zone position. Back step for me next. Now come back up. This is a good position, but it's not I would say this is a dead zone. You know what I mean? We both have good offensive opportunities, right? Whereas by contrast, so just come back down. Let me get a backside again. Whereas by contrast, if I have a backside 50-50, he does not really have many options. You know what I mean? This is pretty close to being done. So if we have this would be our ideal situation, okay? All right, so does that make sense, guys? Those of you guys that were struggling, hopefully this helps. Let's give it a try. All right, 1, 2, 3.